Hi there, and welcome to week 4 in our Social Work 503 Interpersonal Processes class. So we are more than halfway through our 7-week journey together here in the class. And this week we are going to focus on the use of self. So the use of ourselves is really the most important tool that we have in clinical social work practice. And again, you have a lifetime to really master this aspect of social work practice. So while it's important to feel as if you're gaining a sense of mastery in this 7-week course, please don't feel overwhelmed if some of these concepts and ideas are initially hard to fully implement or grasp, because you truly have a lifetime to connect these theories to practice. And this is something that you're going to be able to do on a much deeper level when you're actually in your internship. So in this week, we're going to explore the use of self in terms of building relationships and moving through the group stages of development. So we're going to discuss the concept of attunement and brain-to-brain connections as they facilitate a deeper connection to others, and how that connection enables us to use ourself in the helping process. So the first thing that you want to do is check out all of these great learning resources that are here for you in the classroom. So we have 4 readings this week. The first one is an article entitled Leadership That Gets Results. The second one is Chapter 5 by Dr. Poulin, entitled The Collaborative Model Task, Inputs and Practice Skills. Then you have Chapter 4, How We Communicate Making Connections. And then your final reading involves both Chapters 3 and 4 in Eckhart Tolle's book, A New Earth, Awakening to Your Life's Purpose. We also have a fabulous video here by Dr. Daniel Siegel on attachment and how it relates to neurobiology and neurochemistry. So it really makes fascinating connections about how relationships form our brain and our neural connections in early childhood. And what I encourage you to keep in mind is that we used to think that our brain chemistry, our neural chemistry, was fixed and unchangeable. So that used to be the paradigm psychology, social work practice fell under. But now we know much better. We know that we can actually shift a person's brain chemistry, neurochemistry, their capacity for learning through different evidence-based practices. So it's an exciting time to be a social worker here during this paradigm shift as we're learning about neurochemistry and attachment in new ways. So for your second learning resource this week, you're invited to watch this excellent video training that's entitled Talking Papers Training. And it is a really powerful way that we can help clients find their own authentic voice and really learn how to advocate for themselves. So after you complete the learning resources, you want to come down to these 2 different discussion board forums. The first one is a week 4 discussion board forum entitled Attunement, Brain-Brain Communication, and Implications for Attachment. So based on your reading materials for this week, tell us about how the ideas of attunement, brain-to-brain communication, and their implications for attachment change the role of the social worker and the small group leader. So you want to make sure that you're including specific references and citations to the course readings. So you're making sure that you're using those APA-style in-text citations here. And for this particular discussion board forum, you're required to have 1 response to a colleague, preferably a colleague who doesn't yet have any responses on our discussion board forum. And I invite you to respectfully discuss whether you agree or disagree with your classmate and state why based on your own experiences, as well as evidence-based readings. So you want to make sure that you're providing at least 1 specific reference to those readings and a citation to that course reading as well. So your initial post is due on Thursday by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The follow-up response is due by Sunday, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you want to make sure that you're following all of the guidelines that are written here in terms of word count and citation. So your second week 4 discussion board forum is all about the talking papers video that you watched. So for your initial post prompt, you want to use a group of people from work, from your community, from your family, from your group of friends, and practice talking papers. So for your discussion this week, please submit a short description of what topic you covered, findings, issues, and questions that came up. So if possible, upload a photo of the completed talking papers exercise. So this particular response, this discussion board forum does require one response, again, preferably to a colleague who does not yet have any responses. So I invite you to provide balanced feedback on their use of talking papers. What are the strengths in how they conducted talking papers? You really want to implement the social work strengths perspectives here and give your colleagues a pat on the back. Tell them what they did well. I also invite you to very respectfully tell your colleague what things they could have done differently in order to enhance their use of talking papers. So again, this initial post is due on Thursday by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and all of the follow-up responses are due by Sunday, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So again, you're making sure that you check out the rubric and read all of the word counts here so that you are in alignment and can get the most points possible for these particular exercises and posts here. So now let's shift focus and talk about your week 4 dyad conversation, the topic of which is groups from each person's past. So content and process of this conversation are going to be described in the process note for week 5. So again, it's not due this week. The actual process note is going to it's due on week 5 of the course, which is next week. So I invite you to meet with your dyad partner this week, discussing 2 groups from past experience, one that went well and one that didn't. What stage was this group in? How do you know? What role did the leader play? So examples of groups that you may have been involved with in the past, it could be a group, perhaps a class that you took in undergrad. That would definitely count as a group. So maybe it was part of a church or community group that you've been involved with in the past, or a volunteer experience, or perhaps a past professional or work group that you've collaborated with or been a participant in the past. So just think about 2 groups that you have participated in at some point in your past life here. And you want to, again, talk about something that went well and something that didn't. Again, focusing on what stage the group was in. How did you know that you were in that particular stage, knowing all that you know now from our coursework? So when you meet with your small groups this week or next, discuss what you learned from your dyad exercise and how it might add to your small group project. So you're going to begin taking the information that you're discussed with your partner and then discuss it with that small group that you're in. So you're really integrating the processes here. So now let's take some time and talk about our week 4 small group discussion board and meeting. So this week you're going to be meeting with your small group again and continue to work on your group project. You want to use the discussion forum as well as a scheduled teleconference session. So you can definitely be interacting with each other on our discussion board, but you definitely want to make sure that you're connecting with your entire small group live via Zoom at some point this week. So one member of your small group must complete the small group progress form and upload it to the discussion board. So again, I don't need to receive a form from everyone, just one person per group. It's usually best practice if you take turns. Again, if you're having any questions, any struggles or challenges, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm happy to help you with the process. It's not unusual for groups to experience some challenge in dynamics or communication. So I'm going to encourage you to really try to problem solve with each other within the group. group. That said, I'm definitely here as the leader to step in if you have somebody that is just really not pulling their weight, that is being, inappropriate in any way. But I'm going to encourage you to really try to work this out. That is really part of the learning of this course, is to really help you to understand group dynamics and how you can be a powerful leader in the group, because this is something that you're definitely going to be responsible for in social work practice. But all that said, I am here to support you and to guide you in the process. So don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions or concerns. So finally, but it's still very important, I'm going to encourage you to complete the mid-semester evaluation, which you can access just by clicking on mid-semester evaluation. So this is a completely anonymous mid-semester evaluation. So your feedback is really important. I realize that we all get so many different surveys in email and all kinds of things like that in today's modern world. But your feedback is going to be used to really help me make any necessary improvements to the course experience before the course ends. So I'm wanting you to really give me some feedback on, how things are going for you, what's working well for the course, what's not. I'm not able to make any changes to the particular course content just because this course must run the same across all sections to be in compliance with the Council on Social Work Education. But I can definitely help you have a more positive experience, or at least try. But I need you to provide some feedback to me directly in order to make that happen. So Widener is excellent. I've seen classes and courses really be significantly transformed based on student feedback. So this is your opportunity to really share your voice and let us know what's working well and what's not in terms of the course content. So I hope you have a fabulous week, and I look forward to reading your feedback as well as reading your assignments.